everybody from Cusco. I'm so happy to be back in Peru. I visited about 6 years ago for over a month and I loved it. So I'm very excited to be back. Cusco is at 3,399 meters up in the Peruvian Andes, so you might feel the altitude a little bit when you're walking around. And it's nice and early. I woke up about 6 o'clock this morning, and I always think that one of the best ways to explore a city is through its local markets. So I'm heading to San Pedro's Central Market, which is one of the oldest markets in Cusco. If you are looking for local foods to try, this is definitely one of the best places. There are obviously some tourists in here, but generally eating around these tables seems to be the locals. And it's busy all times of the day, although particularly busy in the morning. I'm just having a wander around to see what I might fancy eating. So I am being quite careful now not to slip over in the blood that's on the floor, but I've come to the meat area of the market. Unsurprisingly, there are not many tourists here, but there are quite a lot of dogs actually. And to be honest, it's not for the faint-hearted. But I do think if you're going to eat meat, you probably should come to places like this and try and stay in touch with where your meat is coming from. I've come to have a wander around Plaza de Armas in the Centro Histórico, which is one of the main squares here in Cusco and has been since before the Spanish. There's a big fountain and statue in the middle, and then it's flanked by a couple of churches, including Cusco Capital, which is just behind me. What's so lovely about walking around Cusco is you've just got the hills all around with houses, multicoloured houses going up into the distance. It's very pretty. So there are lots of cafes around Plaza de Armas, and whilst the cafes themselves are not much to write home about, the view is just amazing. So I'd highly recommend to come up here, get a coffee or a tea and watch the world go by. I think a mixture of the altitude, the heat, and walking around a lot, we are absolutely starving, so we've stopped for some comida típica. And for starter, I'm having sopa de pollo, which is absolutely delicious and has sorted my headache right out. And then I've been looking at the menu. I'm not quite sure what's coming next. Possibly more chicken. So Peru is one of the only countries in the world where Coca-Cola is not the best-selling soft drink. And here they have Inca Kola, which I'm never quite sure what's in it, but to be honest it tastes a little bit like iron brew. And iron brew is very good for a hangover. Not that I have one, but the altitude is getting to me ever so slightly and I think this will help. Come to take a wander around San Blas, which is only a short walk away from Centro Histórico, but it's a little bit more low-key, quite arty, bohemian. Lots of galleries and cute boutiques as well. It is so nice to just wander around San Blas. It's a lot more low-key than the proper Centro Histórico. Nice and quiet, and also if you look up, there's some absolutely gorgeous wooden balconies carved all above us. We've come up to one of the best viewpoints in the city. This is at the Cristo Blanco statue. a giant 26-meter high statue of Jesus, and they are the most amazing views over Cusco. Beautiful, seeing the churches below, out to the stadium, the hills. Very lovely place to come. I have just finished the Laras trek and I've come back to Cusco before I get my flight home today, which I'm very sad about, but I've come back to San Pedro Market to get one of the fresh juices before I leave. Oh, honestly, you can't beat these. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed exploring Cusco with me, and don't forget to subscribe.